When you select a chart, on the Design tab is a choice called Switch Row Column, and the description doesn't quite do it justice. It says, swap the data over the axis. Well, that doesn't mean a whole lot until you actually try it. I strongly recommend using this button almost every time you create a chart. I'm going to use it right now on the chart we see below. Notice how across the bottom we see the months. As I click the button, Switch Row Column, now we see the regions, domestic, Europe, and Asia. I have a certain preference on this one. It's the previous chart, but nothing lost here by making a choice. The chart to the lower left, same general idea. Switch row column. How's that going to look? Maybe better, maybe not. The reason you want to do this is sometimes you'll get ideas about different ways to display the data. Now, something else happens at times and you'll be a little bit mystified. I'm going to highlight some data here. Just say for the first 6 months, I'll quickly create a chart with Alt F1. And you see the orientation there. We see months across the bottom. I'm going to shorten that chart just a little bit, make it a little bit smaller. Now, I'm going to highlight just half of that data, just this portion of it right here, and press Alt F1. Now notice what happened here. Instead of putting the months across the bottom, it puts the regions. So based on the shape of the data that you selected to go into a chart, you're likely to get a different layout when you press Alt F1 or F11 to get a chart immediately. No matter how that looks, consider the other option, Switch Row Column. It's not to say that you're going to get a better choice all the time. In fact, maybe it's roughly 50-50. But what if it happens that you like both of these? You can easily create a chart and then simply press Control-D to duplicate it. And for the moment, you'd have two charts identical. Just switch row column on one or the other, and then decide which ones you're going to keep, move them around in different ways. So you'll get ideas sometimes about how data looks, how it doesn't look. And on the next sheet over called Line Chart, we see a chart that's already there. When you switch line charts, usually it's pretty obvious that one of these choices is much better than the other. Line charts in general should have a time frame across the bottom. That's the way we see the data here. So on this chart here, if I were to click there, go to the Design tab and Switch Row Column, I think that makes almost no sense at all. Data doesn't really flow from state to state, but it certainly flows across time periods. So switch that one back. And I think you'll find over time as you try this button, you get some interesting results at times. If it is a line chart, usually it's pretty obvious one's going to be different than another. Here's another example on the sheet called City Sales. We're looking at a stacked column chart. How might this look if we go to the Design tab and Switch Row Column? Not so bad, but again, consider what you prefer. Possibly if you want both, simply duplicate the chart and switch them back and forth in different ways to show both. And so at any time, just click a chart. On the Design tab, there's that choice, Switch Row Column. Consider the options, pick one or the other, or save both.